Okay, Rancid, Tomorrow Never Comes. Dan Frampton YouTube channel over here. Take 1336. Let's get this thing going. Okay, you guys heard of the band Rancid, right? They're like this legendary California punk rock band that started back in like the early 1990s or whatever, coming from like the whole Gilman Street era, okay? They came from like the whole Operation Ivy stuff that happened or whatever, and they were like, let's put out a record as a band called Rancid, okay? And that's what they did. And then like 30 years later, we're here with Tomorrow Never Comes. Hey, how's it going? It's your friendly neighborhood gatekeeper, Dan Frampton, and today we're going to be talking about Rancid's newest record, Tomorrow Never Comes. Now, this band Rancid, like I said, absolute legends. They come from an absolutely legendary scene, okay? Everybody knows who Rancid is. Tim Armstrong, one of the guitar players and vocalists in the band, is probably one of the best punk rock songwriters to ever kind of do it, okay? And every member of this band is very, very talented. They're all very, very good players, and when they come together, magic is made. But nothing hits like the magic that they made on their first 5 records going through the 90s and ending in 2000. Because around the time that they put out Indestructible, I kind of bounced away from Rancid. I kind of had my fill of Rancid, and every record that they put out after that, I was like, no guys, I'm still good on the Rancid, okay? They're kind of just spinning their wheels at this point. Those early records kind of evolved. Everything was a little bit different every time they did something, and they were doing stuff that was so creative and catching so many people's ears and attention. And like I said, by the time they were rolling through the 2000s, they were just putting out formulaic Rancid songs, okay? Because they really did define what a Rancid song was, and they kind of had like a Rancid song factory, it seemed. But earlier this year, when they started releasing the teasers for this upcoming record, I was like, oh my god, is Rancid alive again? Is Rancid back again? Is my favorite band from my youth gonna be my favorite band in my adult life? Well, the short answer is not so much, but my hopes were set very, very high, okay? Because these 3 songs kind of harkened back to the classic era. We get a little bit of that hardcore stuff that came out in 2000. We get a little bit of that Let's Go vibe on the title track or whatever. And Devil in Disguise sounds like something that would have come off Life Won't Wait. So I was just chomping at the bit to get my grubby little hands on this record. And with my expectations set through the roof, I pressed play on this thing the day it came out. And let me tell you, it starts off with the title track, Tomorrow Never Comes, and like I said, I love this song. I was like, okay, this is a hype song, we're gonna build expectation, and we're gonna just steamroll all the way to the end of this track list or whatever. And then Mud, Blood, and Gold comes on, and I'm like, okay, this is alright, you know, this is just like an album track. They can't all be bangers, it's a good vibe though. And then we're hit with Devil in Disguise, and I'm like, alright, I like the flow of this is kinda cool. I am vibing with this record so far, but I'm like, is this gonna really fit in with the first 5? And my expectations are still so high, and we're still okay like 3 songs into this track list. I'm like, okay, this could be an all-timer depending on how this rolls out. But then the song New American happens, and I'm kind of thinking, are we just doing basic Rancid stuff again? Are you just going back to the Rancid factory to mass produce a Rancid song? Because that's what this sounds like. This just sounds like if like Rancid was a sausage, this was the Rancid sausage. And then we roll on to the song The Bloody and Violent History, which is an amazing title, and that's about where it ends. Like, the title is the best part of this song, and it's breaking my heart because I want to come on here and be like, guys, Rancid is back. This is the record that's changing punk rock again. These guys are amazing, firing on all cylinders 30 years into their career. But like, I don't know, man, we're 3 for 5 right now, which is still a pretty good like batting average or whatever. But I'm like, all right, it's not going to be an all-time banger after banger after banger thing. There's already 2 skips. And don't get me wrong, these last 2 songs are still good songs. They're not bad songs by any stretch of the imagination. They're just not like to that crazy, crazy level that Rancid set that bar to. And then we're blasting through Don't Make Me Do It, which is just an amazing song, okay? This was one of the teasers. This is one of the songs that got me thinking that Rancid was gonna be Rancid again in full form. And when these guys are playing with full cylinder momentum, okay, they are crushing it. When all 3 vocalists are playing back and forth with one another, you can't go wrong, okay? It's some of the best sounding punk rock to ever exist. But it's when they start putting out that rancid sausage that I was talking about earlier, you're just filling up this album with salt and sawdust. I get it. But when we get to the song Live Forever, you're like, okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Why was all that other crap on here? Because Live Forever is a great song. And when you hear great songs on an otherwise mid-record, you're just like, why can't all the songs be good? Because the call and response vocals just sound so cool on this thing. They're playing with creative melodies. It's just really cool. It's also fun and well done. And then you get a bunch of rancid sausage for a bit until you get to the track Magnificent Rogue, and even when you get there, it's still like a nasty, rotten kind of sound, but this time it's good. This is a good kind of nasty and rotten. And then from track 12 onward, all the way to the end of this record, it's just mid after rancid sausage after boring, okay, meh type songs, okay? They're just going to that factory and they're not too mad about pressing that button and being like, oh, one rancid song, please. On the track Eddie the Butcher, it starts off with this ripper bass solo that makes you think that they're trying to do like a Maxwell Murder Part 2, but it just falls totally flat. But the one cool thing about the back half of this record is the abrupt ending. They don't try to do anything theatric. They're not trying to do anything grandiose. They just hit a chord and boom, it's done. Now I know it might have seemed like I was a bit harsh in this review, but all the songs that are just meh, rotten, rancid sausage type songs, they're all okay songs. It's not like they're bad songs. And if you enjoy the sound of Rancid, then you're gonna enjoy these songs. But these aren't gonna be the songs that come with them onto stages when they play around the world for the next couple years, okay? Because people are gonna wanna hear the Rancid songs that are good that they like, okay? There's only a couple songs on this record that might make that set list. But if this really was an all-timer record, they could tour with this record and play solely the songs off of this thing to satiate the appetite of all the Rancid fans, in particular the new Rancid fans. But I don't think that this record is going to bring in any new audiences, and all the audience that is already there are going to be like, yeah, it's alright, it's pretty good. And in my opinion, it is the best they have sounded in 23 years. It is their best record since Rancid 2000, but it's still not a front to backer, and I can't lie to you about that. But before I give this a final score, I got to explain my scoring system because it's only out of 2 points, okay? Think of it like the Siskel and Ebert 2 thumbs up thing, but the 2 thumbs are coming from one person. There are a lot of really amazing songs on this record, but like I said, it's not a front to backer, so there's no way I can give this thing 2 full points. So you know it's walking away with a full 1 though. So if you're a Rancid fan, yeah, by all means, go out, pick yourself up this record, give it a spin or 2, go out and see them when they play live, of course. It's a Rancid record. But it really didn't live up to the expectations that it itself set by putting out those 3 really super fire teasers. So am I disappointed? You god dang right I am. Did you listen to this record? I want to know what you think about it. Sound off down below. I'll leave a couple pancakes while you're down there. Like, subscribe, ring the bell if you're cool as hell, and until my next upload, you can watch another upload.